Every afternoon they come home, after work. He went to look for food at people's houses for them to eat. The owner apologized to his dog for not being able to look after him well. In a quiet corner of the world, a man and his loyal dog live in limitations. They share laughter, pain, and sincere togetherness. However, fate takes them on a long journey, full of trials. How it goes? Watch the video. One day in a village there lived a man with his cute dog. The dog was named Chico by the owner. The owner really loves his dog. The dog is always given the best food even though the owner is poor. The dog's owner is making a new home because his previous house was damaged. Every day the dog always follows its owner to plant rice in his garden. And every afternoon they go home after finishing their work. They ate dinner very heartily even though the food was simple, but the dogs were very happy. Tomorrow it's time to harvest their garden. They harvest their garden, produce and then prepare it to take it to the seller. They went to the seller's place by car. After finishing selling their crops, they returned home. They had a good dinner that day because the owner got a lot of money from selling the harvest. The next day they returned to the garden to harvest again. Suddenly the dog saw a pest in the garden and intended to chase it away. On the way home, the owner saw a leaflet about a dog race and he intended to register his dog. At night, suddenly the dog dropped the food prepared by its owner, and he was very angry. The owner was sad because today's food stock was no longer available because if he wanted to buy more, it was very far away. The next day, the owner intended to go to the festival because he thought his dog would definitely win. Then they leave with very high self-confidence and to change their lives for the better. However, they had a problem with the car they were traveling in, which fell into the forest because it was hit by a large rock. The owner blamed the fire to warm their bodies from the cold forest weather that night. Because their car was badly damaged, and the owner decided to put up a tent to spend the night in the forest. They ate as little as they could with the provisions they had prepared before leaving. The next day they tried to catch fish in the river to eat that day, because the provisions they had prepared were only enough for that night. For several weeks there they didn't get any food, so they finally looked for insects to eat. And finally winter came. The owner was very hungry because he had only had a drink for the past few days. In the final seconds of his life, the owner apologized to his dog for not being able to look after him well, and his dog could only look at him sadly. The owner was no longer strong because the weather was very cold and he had not eaten for a week, and finally he died near his dog. The dog didn't know that its owner had died. He went to look for food at people's houses for them to eat. Every day the dog always looked for food for them, but the dog was very sad because the owner didn't eat the food he brought at all. When he wanted to get more food, there was a person who felt like he was always losing food, and he saw the dog carrying the food. And the person threw the dog with wood, and the wood hit his leg. The dog was seriously injured. The dog returned to its owner with very serious injuries. At the end of his life, the dog remembered the good times with his owner. He loved him very much, and maybe that's what he would say if he could talk. And finally, the dog closed his eyes next to his friend. Thank you for watching. Bye.